All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to take one new BSC Gem and see if we can turn it into $1 million. One Binance Smart Chain Gem, one BSC Gem, one small cap cryptocurrency, not even 2 days old. We're going to see if we can pick out one cryptocurrency. We're going to see if we can make one small investment, and if we can ride that investment all the way up to $1 million. Now, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my very best to try not to sell any at all and see if I can run this up to a $1 million investment in cryptocurrency. Now, there's a lot of challenges. First of all, it's a little bit like picking a lottery ticket. I've got some criteria that I'm going to use that's going to help me do this. I actually feel that this could happen. This is not an impossibility. There's a lot of reasons why I think this can happen. And I'm doing this primarily for content for the channel. I want this to be entertaining for you. I'm hoping, this is be a learning process for all of us and to be entertaining and fun to watch. But at the same time, I'm going to take you through the process that I'm using to make the decision on which cryptocurrency, which Binance Smart Chain Gem am I going to use. Which BNB token am I going to use, and why am I choosing this one BNB token? Now, first of all, I had to look at what was I willing to start with, meaning how much of an investment was I willing to start with. I started with 9 BNB, just under $5,000. That's where I started with. This is my total net worth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is basically a $5,000 lottery ticket that I'm playing with right now. And even if this project does incredibly well, and I think it's going to do pretty well, I don't know if it's going to take me to $1 million. There is a possibility it could take me beyond $1 million. But listen, it's got about a 50-50 chance of going to zero. It might have a 95% chance of going to zero and a 5% chance of going all the way to $1 million. But for your viewing entertainment, I'm going to take this challenge and I'm just going to go for it. So I had to look at where I was starting. What was my starting amount? Is $5,000 going to break me? Those 9 BNB going to break me? No, I've made those 9 BNB from other investments. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't want to minimize it, but this is, it's not like, listen, if I lost my whole crypto portfolio, this is not my net worth. I have other investments. I actually think cryptocurrency is very risky, and I really don't think that anyone at this point in stage in the crypto game should put all of their investment in crypto, but that's my personal opinion. How much does it have to go up? Well, if I'm starting at $5,000 and I'm going to take it all the way to $1 million, how much does it have to go up? I'm starting with 9 BNB tokens. Here's the math. At the time when I made this slide, it's pulled back in the market right now, but at the time when I made this slide, BNB was going for Binance Smart Chain tokens was going for $509. So it was $4,581. Divide that into a million. I need that thing to go up roughly 219x, 219 times. Listen, I know that sounds crazy, and it is crazy, but keep in mind, at one point, Bitcoin was selling for, 50 cents. And today, Bitcoin, has been as high as almost $60,000 at its all-time high. So that's some crazy, crazy return that's far higher than this. Now, how do you find something that has that kind of potential? Here's what I was looking at. It needed to be somewhat revolutionary. It needed to be a new concept. It needed to have some sort of potential. And that potential, I had to look at something that I thought had more potential than maybe even the original creators. Think about this. Dogecoin. The original creator of Doge created a meme coin. It was a joke. It wasn't supposed to be real. But the community, the thing about cryptocurrency is people can take it further. If it's truly a decentralized project, the community, the participants can actually take it even further than the original creator of the project. So it had to be something that was a little bit revolutionary. It had to be something that was, maybe a little bit different, that had some sort of long-term potential. It also had to have proven market cap potential. What do I mean by that? Proven market cap potential. Has something else, some other similar project in that space gone up a lot? Has the market cap proven that it can grow in similar projects large enough to allow me to earn that 200 plus percent, 216%, I think. And was this project, was it an improvement on a previously revolutionary idea? Meaning right here, I said that it needed to be revolutionary. It needed to have proven market cap potential, meaning there needed to be some other project that's somewhat similar that's gotten a large enough market cap to make these returns possible. And then does it make an improvement? Is it a better mousetrap than the previous project that proved the market cap potential? Now, if you don't know what market cap means, market capitalization means the total amount of money, the total value of the cryptocurrency that exists in the entire market. Here's another thing. I need to get in early, and I'm getting in early on this thing. I got in a few hours after launch, like hours. So after launch yesterday. So I had to get in early. And the project must have good marketing. If there's anything that frustrates me about cryptocurrency projects, there's some incredible tech advancements that exist in cryptocurrency that many people don't even know about in the world because they don't have good marketing. And then some cryptocurrencies, listen, marketing is not about just buying a whole bunch of banners on websites and thinking somehow that's going to help people understand what your project is, because that doesn't work. There needs to be a team behind it that understands how to use Twitter, that understands how to use social media, that understands how to appeal to investors that exist if they're looking to seek investors, whatever their target market is. It needs to be somebody that has some experience. They need to be able to move markets, get people's attention, wake people up, draw eyeballs, draw attention on the project. You can have the greatest project, the greatest invention in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then nothing happens with it. Marketing cannot be good marketing is essential to bringing awareness to a product. Period. End of story. So the project, I need to make certain I can get in early because I've got to get some massive gains here. This is monumental. So I have to be able to get in early, plus it has to have good marketing behind it. This is going to be risky. This cannot be overstated enough. I don't mind telling you how I got into it or how I got started with it, and I may do a whole video on that alone, but understand nothing needs to be considered an endorsement or some sort of recommendation for you. I'm not a financial advisor. This is high risk. I am more likely, on a sheer statistical basis, I'm more likely to fail. Most cryptocurrencies starting on day 2 never make it to, $1 billion market cap, which is what I'm shooting for, by the way, believe it or not. Most cryptocurrencies never reach that, particularly if the ones that are this small cap, such a small cap. So this is extremely, extremely risky. So what am I talking about, and why am I looking at this? Well, let's look at something for a moment. If you look at this project here, this has been getting a lot of news lately, SafeMoon. So SafeMoon is actually like kind of a second or third generation of a project that was originally called a virtual deposit contract or an Hourglass contract. The idea was those original contracts where you take your cryptocurrency, you deposit it onto a smart contract. You pay a transaction fee, put it on the contract, and then while it was sitting on that contract, this is important. It had to leave your wallet, it had to go to a contract. And while it was sitting on that contract, everyone who interacted with that contract was paying a tax of 10% or 5%, depending on how the contract was set up. That tax got distributed to everybody else. So the idea was it was to encourage basically a form of saving. Now, here's what ends up happening. You remove those tokens from your wallet and put them on that contract. That can be a potential security risk. So SafeMoon isn't the first project, but it's probably the biggest project that uses technology where the tokens don't have to leave your wallet. As people transact, a fee is still created with the tokens. It's called an RFI token. We don't need to worry about getting into the technicals, but the token can sit in your wallet and you automatically earn fees as other people transact in the token. And what SafeMoon did is it was a 10% fee to buy, 10% fee to sell the token or transact to the token. Every transaction is a 10% fee. 5% of that fee, half of it, gets distributed as rewards to everybody else. And you do nothing. You just buy the token, hold it in your wallet, and you automatically collect rewards. This is incredible. I don't think the full market potential on these type of projects has been seen yet. The tokenomics, the way it works is that 5% gets distributed as dividends. The other 5% gets locked up in liquidity. And the reason to provide that liquidity, this is a genius. Most projects need liquidity to get started. Typically, it takes an enormous investment of somebody to pull in and bring in that liquidity. Now, in a decentralized space, you want to be able to set it up so liquidity can build sort of organically. And that's what this ends up doing here. As people buy, as people sell, liquidity is being added to the decentralized exchanges. Now, if that's over your head, just understand the fact that liquidity needs to be added to exchanges so people can buy and sell without having too much slippage on the exchange. Now, SafeMoon went all the way up. This is crazy. And it's interesting because, listen, this project has got a lot of hate. This has over 1 million holders. That's enormous for a newer project. And it's got a tremendous amount of hate. People have called this a pyramid scheme, and I think that's crazy. And by the way, this video is not about SafeMoon. I'm just showing that they've proved this concept. It's about another project that's brand new. But SafeMoon, people are calling it a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme, which is wild. And they say things like, oh, it depends on other people come in and buy it. Yeah, so does Dogecoin. There's no utility of Dogecoin. There's buyers and sellers. There's a winner and a loser on that transaction every single time. At least with something like MoonSafe, the idea between this RFI token is that you're encouraged to hold a token. I mean, at least the token value can go down if there's a bunch of sellers, but at least, you're accumulating tokens. So when the price goes back up, you actually have more tokens. So your total investment is worth more. That's very interesting. I've always thought there was some sort of there's something here on this strategy. And this is when I talk about being revolutionary. I don't think the SafeMoon holders or the SafeMoon creators understand this, but I actually think there's somewhere in traditional finance, maybe it's some form of investment where there's a time lock, where a certain percentage of your transactions get locked up in some sort of a time lock. And maybe you set that for 20 years, 30 years, whatever your retirement age is, and then you retire, those tokens get unlocked. We're thinking way ahead here. We're decades ahead in the cryptocurrency space probably, but I'm just thinking about what that would look like. There's something unique to these tokenomics, and I keep feeling like these virtual deposit contracts, there's something more here. The greater market hasn't seen it. Up until now, it's really been seen as a bit of a gimmick, a bit of a toy, a bit of a, interesting idea and that people kind of play with. And this new project is no different. The difference is it's new. Now, I want you to pay attention to something for a moment. This project pulled back. They're sitting at just below $2 billion market cap. That's important. They've been as high as $5 billion market cap. So what happened? Well, the liquidity dried up for one. Supposedly, some of the rumors that I've read about is the developers were selling some of their tokens or selling some of the liquidity. They didn't lock up the liquidity. And so when people were going to sell, they were losing 20, 30, 40% of their holdings because there wasn't enough liquidity. So, and I'll show you that here in a moment, what it looks like. But there's a new project, and it's just got launched. The website's not even complete right here. Our.glass. Remember I told you Hourglass contract? That was before it was Hourglass, but our.glass. The website's not even fully going yet. Like it's not even, they got a great Twitter account. You can come here. You can click on Twitter. You can go to Twitter. If you go to Twitter, they got a voice chat going. You can come here and you can click through and you can figure out, like, if you're already in the BNB space, you can come over here and read through and figure out how to get in if you want to get into the project. But there's so much going on here that's interesting. But we're so early. There's not even a website yet. But I want to show you something. There's a few things they're doing. First of all, the liquidity is supposed to be locked. Right here we are. Liquidity is locked for, what's this, 151 days, I think, so far. I believe that's right. So they've got some of the liquidity locked in this time lock right now. Plus, something else is interesting. They burn tokens. Now that they've burned some tokens earlier, because there's something like a quadrillion tokens, a bunch of tokens. Now that they've burned the tokens, what's happening, if you come over here, you can read about it in the pinned message. Now they've burned tokens. I believe that as the transaction fees continue, the burn address continues to get some of those tokens as well. This is the price chart. So I got in actually somewhere over here. And believe it or not, when I got in, I actually sold over here. I'm sorry. I got in over here. I sold somewhere over here, and I bought back in like up here. And what's crazy is because there's a 10% fee in, 10% fee out, and I sold, and I come in over here, it took it to the market. It was all the way back right up here before I was back even from before I sold. So I actually would have a lot more. I would probably be close to triple up on my stack right now. Now, I've been riding, this is the 10-minute chart. I wrote it down today, back up, back down. And the great thing about this volatility is people are paying those fees. And now tokens are getting burned. So it's a deflationary token now. Plus, we're getting more and more glass tokens. And right now, I've got about 16 BNB worth. I came in with 9. I'm up to 16. I sold and bought back in, which it was hella expensive. Now, here's what's interesting. This is only sitting at a $7 million market cap. I just showed you a $2 billion market cap. The difference is they've got locked liquidity. There's a very strong community here. There's a building community. Basically, the promoter here is Trayvon. You know, he's been the promoter basically for like Tokenomics and stuff like that. He's definitely got an audience. He's got people who pay attention to him. Bank Teller, who also has another audience, has been talking on his socials. He's another kind of a community promoter / developer who's also talked about how he's invested. I think he said he went in for like $30,000 worth into Glass. And basically, this thing's not even getting started. So there's staking's coming here within a couple of weeks. They're supposed to have some other stuff that's going to be coming. We'll have to wait and see ultimately what all happens on this project. But when I tell you that we're in early, I'm telling you that we're in early. This is both good and bad. It's risky. But if I want to take this thing, if I want to have a chance to take something that roughly $5,000 and run it up to $1 million, I've got to get in early. When I got in, this thing was only about $3 trillion market cap. It's been as high, 3 million. It's gotten as high as 10 million, but this is nothing for a market cap. And there's literally nothing here right now. Our.glass. There's nothing here yet. Nothing. So this is going to get started. So if you want to look at the project, you can. I don't recommend it. I'm not encouraging you to come over here. But you can look at this project if you want. You know, you come over here to our.glass, go to the Telegram, look at the pinned messages, ask questions, and expect this website to get updated. It is kind of cool. They're doing like a live voice chat in Telegram every night, and they kind of talk about what's going on, what's been going on throughout the day. You can kind of get some hints and some crumbs get dropped in conversations about what sort of ideas. They're not letting too much out of the bag, but there's clearly going to be some development coming. There's clearly some excitement coming. So am I going to be able to take this to $1 million? I hope so. Why do I think that it's even possible? I'm going to tell you why. Because I think there are people, once a project gets tainted, it's really hard to recover. This thing right here just keeps dropping. It's down to 1.9. Oh, they've hit 2. So this is good. They're back to $2 billion market cap. Good for them. But typically when something gets, you know, it's all from 5 billion. When something gets tainted, sometimes it's rough. I mean, it's just rough to fully recover. And if people can find something that looks new, that looks better, when you know you've got locked liquidity and you're going to see some unique development taking place. The thing is, Trayvon with Tokenomics, he has the ability. Nothing that he's done has been like going to change the mainstream world in crypto. But he manages to really do a lot of interesting play on tokenomics. Him and Bank Teller both. And I've been critical of some of these projects because it's like, it's kind of the same thing reimagined. But you got to give these guys credit for keeping, Bank Teller, you got to give them credit for kind of keeping the just enough interest up. I mean, Bank Teller puts out a project and it's nothing before it, has $1 million in there. And that says something about his track record. And now this is kind of this RFI thing where you're literally earning glass without having to actually stake anything, without having to lock up tokens. And now if they add some sort of staking mechanism to it, think about it. You're able to stake your tokens somehow. We'll have to see how that mechanism works. The idea is you stake your tokens to earn more tokens, but as you do that, you're getting the constant compounding as well. It's going to be interesting. I don't know where it goes. Again, this is why it's high risk. I just jumped in early, and I've almost doubled up what I put in. This has nothing to do with my trading bots. This has nothing to do with some of my other investments. This is just for fun. I'm just creating content for you. So if you appreciate the fact that I'm spending $5,000 roughly in cryptocurrency to bring you some content, on a hope and a prayer that just maybe we're going to take this thing to $1 million. Just maybe we're going to take it all the way to $1 million. Hey, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best not to touch it. I'm going to do my best not just to watch it. And I'll keep you updated on what happens, if anything at all. Maybe it fizzles out next week. I mean, really and truly, who knows? There's literally no way of knowing. Who knows? But it's going to be fun to watch. So do me a favor. If you appreciate the fact that I'm putting $5,000 out to bring you some content here on this YouTube, smash that like button. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. I've got something else coming up for you. I'm going to keep it a surprise for now, but I've got something coming up for you you're going to absolutely love in the realm of passive income. So smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, hit that bell notification icon, click all. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.